Here we go. It's now time for the NBA's version of the What If Cup awards. So 9 NBA teams ended up winning their What Ifs out of 27, which is not bad. 1 out of 3. That's a pretty good average. Baseball had 10 out of 28 for 5 out of 14. And the NFL went 7 out of 32. Hockey went 13 out of 28, which is pretty good. So anyway, the NBA's 9 teams who won were the 67 Celtics, the 2000 Trailblazers, the 94 Sonics, the 72 Bucks, the 89 Cavs, the 02 Kings, the 76 Warriors, the 2018 Rockets, and the 88 Hawks. So they all got their what ifs and all got happy ever after. So what I did was went through the tier system. The 94 Sonics and the 89 Cavs actually went through 3 playoff rounds to get their happy ever after, which is unusual. So those 2 teams are actually in tier 1. So those 2 teams will be in the semifinals, and we'll wait for the top 2 teams to come out of tier 2. Tier 2 contains the 72 Bucks and the 88 Hawks, who went through 2 rounds before winning their thing. So they're waiting tier 2, but they're waiting on the tier 3 people, which are the 67 Celtics, the 76 Warriors, and the 2018 Rockets. There will be a playing game between the 2002 Sacramento Kings and the 2000 Portland Trailblazers. The winner of that game will face the 67 Celtics in a 2-game playoff, and then the 2018 Rockets take on the 76 Warriors. And of course, those 2 winners will deal with the Bucks and the Hawks. So, what we have here is, of course, the big matchups. And the big matchup, of course, is Portland versus Sacramento. So there'll be 2 games. Total combined points wins. If it's by 3 points or fewer, they go to a game 3. But it can't be a neutral site game. I don't know why NBA they don't allow it. But anyway. So game 1 saw the Kings win by 2 points, 104-102. So great job there. 18 points by Scottie Pippen in 31 minutes. 17 from Rasheed and 17 from Dave Smith. Greg Anthony for Vancouver Grizzlies got 10 points. Damon Stoudemire and our Sabonis also started. 9 points from Bonzi Wells in 21 minutes. Denlar Shrimp played off the bench. So did Bonzi Wells, Jermaine O'Neal, and Brian Grant. Stacey Hockman. The Sacramento Kings 24 from C-Webb, 17 from Peja, 15 from Flatty. It's weird how, Peja played 31 minutes off the bench. But anyway, they had a nice system. They didn't really need Bobby Jackson, Scott Pollard, Lawrence Funderburg, and Jared Wallace to come off the bench, but, they did. So 2-point Sacramento win. They go to Portland. And Portland crushes Sacramento, so that means Portland moves on to the next round, 98-72. Basically, after the first quarter, it was all for shit. 27 for C-Webb. In a losing cause, Bobby Jackson had 14 points in 18 minutes off the bench. Peja only played 26 minutes. Double digits. They emptied the bench and didn't really get that much, including Mateen Cleaves, who a couple years earlier won the 2000 NCAA title. Portland just basically played team offense. Scottie Pippen, 13 points in 31 minutes. David Stoudemire, 15 in 29. Bonzi Wells did well, 14 points in 18 minutes off the bench. Greg Anthony, 11 points in 16 minutes. So basically, they used Joe Klein, Mike Klein from Arkansas. Jermaine O'Neal, the young star, Gary Grant, not a film star. So anyway, Portland will face the 76 Celtics. So, yeah, the 54-28 Celtics. So game 1, Portland got to play the first game at home. The Celtics did fine, but the second half was basically Portland. They won by 18 points in the second half, winning 196. Havlicek had 22 points. That wasn't bad. Paul Silas, 17 points. Charlie Scott, 15 points. Dave Cowens basically was a rebounder. Kevin Stadcom, no points in 12 minutes. That's pathetic. Glenn McDonald, Don Nelson. Yes, that Don Nelson, the coach. The most. Tom Boswell, and Steve Kuberski. Meanwhile, the Trailblazers, all 5 of their starters got double digits. 18 from Rashid, 17 from Stoudemire and Sabonis. Anthony Bonzi, Wells, Brian Grant, Jermaine O'Neal, Stacey Hoffman, Dave Lunchroom. So 4-point win for the Trailblazers going to game number 2 against Boston. And in game 2, the Celtics won by 5, which forces a game 3 because of the fact that it's 1 point. They do have a third game. Sadly, though, I wish it was neutral at a neutral court, but no, it's not. So Damon with 18 points. Brian Grant 14 off the bench. That's not bad. The Celtics did much better on their parquet floor. And because the Celtics actually had kind of a bye, if you will, they will host game 3, the tiebreaker game. Cowens 24, JoJo White 22, Scott and Havlicek each with 17 points. Don Nelson did not do well off the bench. So game 3 sees the Celtics crush the Trailblazers and send the Celtics to the next tier with a 105-93 win. Portland wishes they could have done much better at home. 11 points in 12 minutes off the bench for Stacey Hockman. That ended up being the third highest scorer. Steve Smith for 13, Bonzi Wells with 12. Only 11 points. Rashid and Pippen combined for only 15 points. That's just pathetic. The Celtics had 25 from JoJo. Cowens with 18, Scott with 17. Yeah, but basically did well off the bench. Jim Hart did well, 7 points in 11 minutes off the bench. Steve Kuberski, 7 points in 8 minutes. So the Celtics would play, I believe, the 88 Hawks. So yeah, they're doomed to play the 88 Hawks. So we'll do that kind of movement. So yeah, the 88 Hawks will take on the 76 Celtics in the 2-game series. Celtics, of course, will, despite having the winning record, Atlanta actually went through 2 rounds to get their happy ever. So the Hawks have home field. And the Hawks took down the Celtics 105-99. Dominique with 30 points as he went 20 from Doug Rivers, 17 from John Battle off the bench in 25 minutes. Wow. Tree Rollins in 25 minutes. Randy Whitman had 29 minutes. John Concat off the bench. Cliff Livingston, former Bull. Spud Webb, 7 points in 13 minutes off the bench. Scott Hastings, Anton Carr. The Celts had 21 from Dave Cowens, 18 from JoJo. Basically, they did okay, but, the bench wasn't all that good. On to game 2. And the Hawks. And the Hawks knew with a 6-point lead they could easily coast. They didn't really need to coast. They took care of the Celtics 106-93 in Atlanta on their own court. So 19 from Charlie Scott, 17 from JoJo, 13 from Dave Cowens. There were some good stat lines. Not Don Nelson, 1 point in 8 minutes. 29 from Neek, 16 from Doc. John Battle with 11. Kevin Willis, 25 minutes. Yeah, they have a weird bench. Scott Hastings, Anton Carter. Chris Washburn, Mike McGee, Leon Wood, and Enes Watley. So the Hawks easily beat the Celtics. The Hawks will go to the semifinals against the 94 Supersonics. So we'll do the 94 Sonics. For truth. So the Hawks will get game 1. Seattle decides to give the Hawks game 1 even though they have the better advantage. And it didn't work for Atlanta. They thought they had it, but the Sonics went 119-102. 24 from Sam Perkins in 25 minutes. Gary Payton only had 17. John Camp, 19 points in 29 minutes off the bench. They knew what they were doing with the bench. Kendall Gill coming in. Askew, 13 points in 19 minutes. Ricky Pierce, Nate McMillan, Irvin Johnson, Steve Scheffler, Chris King, Rich King, and Alfonso Ford from Mississippi Valley State. The Mariners serves me right. 22 from Dominique. Kevin Willis had 21, so he picked up the slack. They really had to go through their bench. So it's a 17-point lead for the Sonics. All the Sonics have to do is basically play tough to the middle. The Sonics didn't really need it. So the Sonics get to the final by taking down the 88 Hawks by a score of 107-100. 22 from Dominique, so he slid. Doc Rivers had 17. Kevin Willis only played 14 minutes, I guess because of injury or something. Cliff Livingston. Or was it foul trouble? Oh no, it was foul trouble. Kevin Willis had 6 fouls. Sonics 20 points from Deploff, 17 from Kemp. Gillen Perkins was 16. So yes, so basically that's that. So Seattle's in the championship. They will have to wait a while to find out who their opponent is because we gotta go all the way down to tier 3 and see the 2018 Rockets take on the 76 Warriors. And I don't think it really matters. So the Warriors will be the road team. They'll take on the 2018 Rockets. See where Houston goes from here. 59 versus 65. Houston should easily win this one. Game 1 sees Houston crush the Warriors by 25. So the 76 Warriors decide that enough was enough. They couldn't really do anything. So the 2018 Rockets easily get to the next tier. 26 from Jamal Wilkes for the Warriors in a loss. Rick Barry, 12 points. Phil Smith, 15. See the bench. The 2018 Rockets, 28 from Harden, 18 from Eric Gordon off the bench. Nice. Capella, 19 points. Trey Tucker, Gordon, Nene, Joe Johnson, the Arky boy. Nicely done. So the 2018 Rockets move on to face the 72 Bucks. 2-tier. Oops, that's wrong. Milwaukee Hawks. Why would I do that? There we go. 63 versus 65. This is hard. So Houston knows that Milwaukee will have to play at home. And the Bucks did well. They hung. They got 40 points in the fourth quarter, but they lost 113-106. 22 each from Abdul-Jabbar and Oscar. 19 from Dandridge, McLaughlin, and Block. They actually used only 9 players. McLaughlin, Block, Greg Smith, Curtis Perry, Wally Jones, and Toby Kimball. The 2018 Rockets didn't use that many people themselves. They used 12, sorry. Third big 12. James Harden with 35. CP3 with 28. Trevor Ariza, 5 points. Man, Eric Gordon had 11 points in 13 minutes. He did very well. There's Mubala Mote and Nene, a couple of foreigners. So on to Milwaukee. They know that they had that 6-point loss. And it was 108-104. Rockets win. So the Rockets go to the next tier, kicking down the 72 Bucks. It was close, though. But 27 from Harden. CP3 had 17. Eric Gordon did well off the bench, 13 points in 12 minutes. Ryan Anderson should not be starting. Nene had 1 point in 13 minutes, while Briant Weber had 7 in 9 minutes. Milwaukee, Abdul-Jabbar was basically the only offense. They got 41 points. John McLaughlin had 15. Oscar, who really scores a lot of points, fucked it all up. So the Rockets go to the next tier against the 89 Cavaliers. They decide that, they'll go to Cleveland first. Go to Cleveland. Be a good boy. So anyway, they faced the 57-win 89 Bucks. Cavs, who went through 3 playoff rounds to get their happy hour after, like the Sonics. The Rockets win 114-105. It was close, though, but the Rockets knew what they were doing. 27 from Harden, CP3 with 19, Capella with 19, Ariza with 14. PJ Tucker had 20 minutes without scoring a point, but he didn't take a shot. He had 2 fouls. So, yeah, it's weird seeing Demetrius Jackson, Chinano Onoku with 2 points in 4 minutes. 22 from Larry Nance, 20 from Ron Harper soon to be Bull. Brad Doherty, Mark Price, Mike Sanders, Hot Rod Williams, Darnell Valentine. It's Denzel Valentine, his son, plays for the Bulls. Randolph Keys, Tree Rollins was there. Craig Elo, he only played 9 minutes. Yikes. And Chris Dudley didn't really play that much. On to Houston. I think they had a 4-point win. I forget. how big that win was. But the Rockets crushed Cleveland, 112-107. So the Rockets moved on to the next round. I know that third quarter ruined them, but Cleveland couldn't do it in the first half. Ron Harper 19, Mark Price 16. So anyway, yeah. Chris Dudley 3 points in 1 minute. Jeez. Craig Elo 7 points in 8 minutes, much better. But James Harden just went off on a rocket, 37 points. Chris Paul 18, Eric Gordon 11 points in 12 minutes. So CP3 did his job. So the Rockets beat the Cavs, so now they'll take on the 94 Seattle Supersonics in a 2-game winner-take-all tournament, if you will. So we can just get to the right team. So it's a 65-win Rockets against the 63-win Seattle Supersonics. Game 1 sees a good complete game by the Rockets as they win 108-97. 18 points from Sean Kemp in 33 minutes. Gary Payton 11 points. Kendall Gill 12 points. Ricky Pierce had 10 points off the bench, but they didn't really use their bench. 26 from James Harden. Cabela with 21. Paul 16. So yeah, Houston did okay. They are winning by 11 points. So Seattle really has to crush Houston into fine powder, or else force game 3. You never know. But in the end, Houston played stifling defense, and they won the tournament. That is a shock how far the 2018 Rockets had to go through. They had to go through the 76 Warriors, the 72 Bucks, and the 89 Cavs, and the 94 Sonics. So they had to go through 4 rounds of tiered playoffs to get through, and they won 83-81. Nicely done by them. 22 from Capella, 20 from James Harden. CP3 had 10 points, though. But it didn't matter. Like, they basically used the bench in a sense. The Sonics didn't really get any good offense. 15 points was the highest, and that was Kendall Gill, who's not known as a super point scorer. So in the butt end of things, it turned out to be a blessing for the Houston Rockets, as they are your champions. Good job.